Welcome, everyone, to the Barely Friends podcast. My name is Isaiah.
My name's Eric.
And boy, are we excited to be back. Season 2, Barely Friends podcast. We got a lot of things we want to go through. I mean, look, we're in person, Eric. We're in person.
It's like the Wizard of Oz when they get color, you know?
Right, yeah. It's like from this the audio to boom, and now it's special effects. So, and we got sound now. We're rolling, man. This is gonna be some fun. So speaking of fun, we had some fun over the summer, and I know my buddy Eric over here, he met some people working or volunteering with Sports Illustrated. Eric, you want to just share that experience with everyone?
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, I put up a picture of you and displaying what's happening.
Oh, yes. So I actually did get to take a picture with Jrue Holiday.
What?
Yeah. Celtics guard, Olympic champion.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely really cool to meet him. I got invited to the Raising Cane's grand opening in downtown Boston.
Yes.
And, of course, Jrue Holiday was there with David Ortiz making an appearance. And I was there with Sports Illustrated as media coverage.
Okay.
So I did get to ask Jrue a couple questions, got to ask Ortiz a question.
Nice.
So it was real cool to meet them.
Nice. What was one of the questions you had for them, and maybe your favorite answer, if you could ask?
Yeah. So I asked Jrue for the Olympics who he enjoyed as his teammates outside of his Celtics teammates. And he actually said he enjoyed playing with Devin Booker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
Got some chemistry with Booker. And he's also a fan of Steph Curry, so he was really glad to team up with Steph Curry for the first time.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's an awesome experience to have, meeting Jrue Holiday and David Ortiz at Raising Cane's opening. I mean, that's on another level. So just want to give you congrats. Congrats on that. That must have been a fun time. So
I will say that David Ortiz had a bit of a hot take.
Okay. Oh, what are you saying?
So he picked the Celtics as next year's champions.
Really? Okay.
But he picked Jrue Holiday as next year's MVP.
Whoa. Okay. All right. That is a hot take. We'll see. I mean, you can't go at Big Papi unless you're a Yankees fan. And if you're a Yankees fan, Eric, that deserves, that's not fun. But if you are a Yankees fan, might get on him. Other than that, he's a great guy. But we'll see. I don't know. It could be something fantastic in the brewing. But the Celtics are going to look great. Before we get to that, though, something that was really fun for all Celtics fans, for all of us, was the Celtics winning it all, right? I mean, that was an incredible moment, an incredible season that the Celtics had. One of my highlights for the summer, for sure.
Definitely. And actually, they brought the trophy to New Bedford at Cisco's.
That's right. You were also there. I got to
talk to Wick Brausbeck, the Celtics owner.
Yep.
Asked him a couple questions and got to take a picture with the trophy. So,
Great. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It's massive. Like it's bigger than you would think.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. We'll have to put that picture up next time as well. But that's sweet. Yeah. Any other fun things before we get into the program?
And then I actually hit up Rick Barry the other day, NBA Hall of Famer.
Okay. Yep.
And set up an interview with him. Just kind of called me a couple hours later. We talked a little bit about the Celtics, and he had a lot of good things to say. I know he's gotten critiques in the past for being a really critical guy, but he showed a lot of love to Celtics, and I enjoyed talking to him and interviewing him.
Great, awesome, man. That is sweet. Hope you get to interview more NBA legends as you go forward. But
the funny part is this is actually just 1 week. Right. So all these guys, I just talked to in 1 week.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, man. That's incredible. That's good stuff. Well, we're gonna transition actually out of basketball for a second because we actually the NFL season has started, and we can applaud for that because I think anyone as a sports fan will say that it is gonna be great. As a Patriots fan, maybe not so much, right? Because we're not going to be too great, in my opinion. But we have other priorities right now, myself and Eric. We are actually on a fantasy football team, and I actually put it up on the screen for all y'all to see. That is the wrong picture. My apologies. So we have a fantasy football team. We drafted a couple weeks ago, and we are actually, funny enough, the AI has put us pinned up against each other this week. So Actually, Eric, your 2 players played last weekend. You had Patrick Mahomes and Harrison Butker. Harrison Butker, as we can see on the screen, did all right. He didn't do that bad. Patrick Mahomes, fantasy wise, they won the game, but he went a little lower than his projections. How do you feel about going into the rest of this week 1 fantasy football season? How do you feel?
I know the AI gave me an A rating for the draft.
Yes.
But the big thing that they criticized was I actually took Patrick Mahomes at number 3.
Okay.
And, I think people waited a couple rounds to take quarterbacks. But I figured that Patrick Mahomes, he's coming off a championship year.
Yeah.
And I think that if the Chiefs want to go back to back, they need a healthy Mahomes. So I'm banking on Mahomes staying healthy and just absolutely going off the season.
For sure. And just remind me and the audience, where did you pick Patrick Mahomes in our fantasy draft? Where
I picked him overall number 3.
Number 3. There we go. That is, I would say, for me, pretty high. And you can't just base it off of this first week, right? Like, it's going to be taking some time. Patrick Mahomes is going to be acquainted with Travis Kelce and Xavier Worthy and all the Rashid Rice. So he's going to be fine. However, week 1, look a little dicey, but we'll see. So, yeah, in terms of, just my team, my analysis, I mean, look, I'm be honest too. I threw you under the bus a little bit. My team got a D-. Okay. So that's also not, that's not good. So, however, I feel fine, right? Like, Jordan Love, he was not great in the beginning of last year, but towards the end of the season, he was a top 5 quarterback regularly, and I think a top 10 fantasy quarterback. So I'm okay with that pick. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's top 10 pick, and so that's fine. Nico Collins, I know they just picked up Stephon Diggs, but he's got chemistry with CJ Stroud. I'm not 100%. I'm not too worried with that pick. I feel confident Nico is going to have the same chemistry as last year. Devon Achane is probably my most critical pick from my peers and from other analysis. But I was high on him just because Dolphins offense with Tyreek Hill and Tua, they were explosive. But Raheem Mostert is there, and I don't know if you know, he had 20 rushing touchdowns last season, the most out of any running back last season. So there's going to be a lot to mouths to feed on my team. So,
and I mean, the Dolphins this season, I know we're both Patriots fans, but
yes,
if we're going to be honest, it feels like it's really a battle between the Dolphins and the Bills right now.
So no Jets. No Jets. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know they have Aaron Rodgers, but he's like 43, 44.
Yeah.
And, he got injured the very first play of his season with the Jets. I just don't really see a good outlook this season for him. I think they're going to go like 8-8, whatever the 0.500 is. But
sure. Yeah. 8. Oh, that's tough, man. That's a tough analysis.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, they also have their defense looks superior and their offensive line looks good, but they just have a lot of old guys in general too. And they just have to prove themselves because they haven't been a complete team in a while. So, anything you want to say about your team lastly as we go into this weekend, into this final matchup?
I mean, it's me and you week 1, so
it is. It's a barely friends matchup. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. Except for a W, and I'm getting the W. So sorry. It's just the way it is. All right. Let's see where we want to go from here. Yes, the best. So for those who are first watching, this is officially our second season. We are comedic informative. We're just friends talking about mainly basketball, mainly New England sports, Celtics, and the like. However, sometimes we'll, talk about other sports topics or even culture, pop culture topics. We talked about last year a lot about Taylor Swift because she was, even though she was, on the Chiefs because of Travis Kelce, she was a megastar. So we'll do all that. But right now, we're just going to go over a few moments of the best moments. So if you were with us last season, maybe you'll remember. If not, no worries. We're gonna explain. Eric, a few moments for you that were some of the highlights from season 1?
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with your highlight.
Okay, all right. Is this gonna be funny or is this gonna be like a serious one?
No, no, no. It's a bit serious.
Okay, all right, cool. All right,
So,
sweet.
all right. I remember asking you for our What in the World or for our mailbag a while ago, what was more impactful, the departure of Bing Bong in Inside Out,
Yeah.
or departure of Marcus Smart from the Celtics?
Right, right, yeah. Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. And I actually thought I gave a pretty thoughtful answer, which was to say I was more sad Bing Bong passed away than Marcus Smart. Look, again, Marcus Smart, you could still consider him as the heart of the Celtics team. Someone who would flop and would take charges, and it was all great. But when you get Porzingis, who was a perennial star and just fit right into the Celtics team, and we won this year. We had Tatum, we had Brown before, and we had Smart all those years, but never won. And now we took Smart away, and obviously we got Jrue Holiday and Derek White. So more pieces, not just because Marcus Smart left. However, the main point is it's not sad anymore that Marcus Smart has left, and the main reason being Kristaps Porzingis is a better player, and so on and so forth. Then we won. So
Yeah, and I also agree with that analysis. I mean, I know a lot of people on social media have said previous Celtics, like Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart, should get like an honorary ring. But the truth is that if these guys didn't leave the Celtics, we probably would not be champions. So it's sad to say, but Marcus Smart leaving the team was a bit necessary because now we have Porzingis and Jrue Holiday, like you said.
yes,
The guy I took a picture with.
yeah,
But
very
those
nice.
two guys were very essential in getting that championship. And Bing Bong's death just straight up sad.
It was just straight up sad. Yeah, I mean, and he's not coming back. He's not. We're not gonna spoil alert for anyone who saw the second Inside Out, but it was, yeah, it was very good. But let's just say Bing Bong was not there, so it just very very sad. I wanted to see him there, but it is what it is. A very good movie though. Very
Yeah.
very good movie. So
Yeah. Oh, and I got a second
oh
highlight.
yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So, I also do remember in the early playoffs, first round,
Mhm.
you actually took the Los Angeles Clippers, and I took the Dallas Mavericks.
That is true. Yes, another one of my not too great moments. But continue.
Yes.
Continue.
So I had a theory that it was going to be either the Denver Nuggets and the Celtics or the Dallas Mavericks and the Celtics.
Okay.
And I was able to at least get the Mavericks route correct.
Yes.
So I was glad to see that come to fruition. And even though I did endorse the Mavericks this season, I really don't think they'll do the same thing next season. And I'm sure we'll talk about that later on, on the podcast. But I feel like they're a one and done team.
Sure. Yeah. I will maybe mention them at some point later in this time. But yeah, I think the Mavericks. I mean, yeah, you were on them since the beginning, and you essentially said that it was going to be a Mavs Celtics finals, and you were right on the money at that point. So I was not. I never even had them coming close. So here
Wait,
here
you
we
definitely
are.
got the Celtics right.
If you are watching right now, I that's why we're just I'm the friend. He's the expert. I'm I'm just here.
And we're also barely friends.
Right, we're barely friends, right? So we gotta just have different opinions, right? We gotta sometimes debate, but it is what it is. I will say for myself, for one of the things that this is kind of funny, but I was pretty consistent with Joe Mazzulla and being really frustrated with him. Now, I will say, I'm gonna skip to something that I wanted to get to, but I don't know if we will be able to get to it moving forward. So I'm gonna get to it now. Joe Mazzulla said maybe the best thing I've ever heard him say this offseason, actually not too long ago. I'm gonna quote here. It was from the Locked On Celtics podcast. He said, "People's going to say the target's on our back." This is referring to them repeating and coming back and winning another championship this season. He says people's going to say the target's on our back, but I hope it's right on our forehead, in between our eyes. I hope I can see the red dot. Now that for me, I mean, I'm just, I just want to give him a huge applause because I was so upset when it was many of the times seeing the live by the three, die by the three philosophy, the whole statistician aspect. It was all analytics for Joe Mazzulla. But I got to be nicer at this point. we won. We won, and the roster was fantastic. But it's not just roster. It's not just talent. It's locker room. It's keeping the guys together. It's making sure that, hey, we're like, you have a goal. We all have a collective goal to win the whole thing. And I think that just solidifies that I can still be mean to him this season, but I'm not gonna be as on him, on top of him. I can't be. I can't be at last year because they won it all. He did it with that team. I can't. So while that's a highlight, I don't plan on repeating that this
I
year.
feel like maybe you pushed him to be a better person or a better coach.
Hey, I hope. I hope that's everyone's like oh well, that's not what it is. Everyone's like, probably not. But but yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping he was listening. I hope he was listening to season 1. But we'll see. So and then one thing for you, I think we had a Barely Friends GM challenge. Essentially we picked basketball team, a random team, and we went through like a 2K simulation of that team going throughout the whole year. And it was cool just to have not the total perspective of a GM, but to have a little bit of it and to see, hey, all right, this is what it looks like, and to just see that perspective. It was really cool. I remember my team not being that great. It was hard being a GM, but it was fun, and it was a cool challenge to do. So I think you had that idea for yourself. So I want to give props to you.
And yeah, maybe next season we could try a different variant of that. Maybe start our own franchises.
100%. 100%. Yes, totally. So on this basketball storyline that we're on, this news, we want to get into some recent NBA news, WNBA. Let's get into WNBA first, because now we're entering into the start of the playoffs, the start of the WNBA playoffs. And we have a lot of teams that have already solidified. So I'm going to go through right here the teams that have made it. This is through CBS Sports. So we have the New York Liberty, Connecticut Sun, yes, Connecticut, woo, New England, the Minnesota Lynx, Las Vegas Aces, who have won the last 2 years, the Storm, the Mercury, and then our team, Eric. I think I will say our team for the both of us. The Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, exactly. Caitlin Clark. We are rooting a ton for her, and we're hoping for the best for her moving forward. So I hope that it's the first year really that she's been on the team, and it's a young team, young coach, or maybe not young coach, but she might have been on the team for a little bit. But this looks pretty promising for Caitlin Clark and the Fever.
Yeah, and in terms of the Rookie of the Year race, I know Angel Reese is brought up a lot, but if you were to take Clark and take Reese and just erase their names and put player 1, player 2, I feel like Clark just passes Reese with all those different records she's broken and just her overall impact on the team. Because right now, I think they're really close to clutching that playoff spot. So the fact that she's able to turn around this team that was at the bottom of the league last year and make them into this contender, I feel like that's amazing. And the Olympic break that she had, even though she didn't travel to Paris, I feel like that benefited her because it gave her time to acclimate to the league and then come back and be better for the second half of the season.
Absolutely. I mean, did you just see her last performance? I forget who they played against, but she just had a 24, 10, and 10 triple-double. I mean, she's going to be, one of the best in the WNBA for years to come. However, though, I don't want to forget this woman's name in the WNBA who is just absolutely destroying the league, and that's A'ja Wilson. She is with Las Vegas Aces, has won the last 2 years, helped this year's Women's Olympics team get over the hump, winning by, I believe, 1 or 2 points. She is something special. I just saw that she had like a 41 point, 17 rebound double-double. I have some statistics here. She is averaging her last 5 games that she's played. She's averaging 31.8 points per game, 14.2 rebounds, and 3 blocks. I mean, she's probably gonna get MVP again. I don't know if this Aces team will win it all again. There's a lot of talent with the Liberty and the Sun, but she is right now the Michael Jordan or the LeBron James, whoever you want to go with, of the WNBA. She is no one can contend to her right now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like in general with the attention that the WNBA is going to getting this season,
Yeah.
that you know, she definitely deserves the MVP, and I feel like more people are going to show her that recognition that she may have missed out on those past years. So I think she was also a champion as well,
Yes.
and overall, great player, and hopefully she gets that recognition she deserves.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think she's been recognized. I think she's had at least one MVP. She might have had two when she won, but she's a fantastic talent, and we'll see where they go. In terms of NBA news, there hasn't really been a whole ton. I would say like we talked about in the summer a lot of offseason moves from teams. The main thing I just have, again we're a Celtics podcast, so I just had one question coming out, and Eric, I'll have you start. I have my answer. Do you think the Celtics have a high chance of repeating as champions this year?
I definitely would say they have a very strong chance of
Yes.
repeating as champions.
Yes.
And part of it too is we have the same exact lineup heading into next season, and that same lineup was dominant 2023, 2024. 65 wins. I think we had 2 losses in the playoffs, 3
Okay.
losses. But that our team from last season, like we may have not really recognized it in the moment because people say like you don't really know when you're in the good old days. But
Right.
like right there,
Right.
that last season, like those were the good old days. Like that was prime Celtics you just saw.
Yes. Yes. And I agree with you. I think they have a high chance of winning this year again. I just looked at the notable moves from this offseason, at least in my perspective. Some of the most notable moves that could tilt the team to our level. Paul George to the 76ers, Mikal Bridges to the Knicks, Russell Westbrook to the Nuggets, Klay Thompson to the Mavs. They're going to be better. These teams are going to maybe not the Mavs, but these other teams are going to be better. I don't see them eclipsing the Celtics, though. When we're just talking about talent, right? Obviously, injuries, like that's going to happen. But if we're just talking about pure talent, coaching, we have our same players for the next at least 2 years, if not more. And I just think we're in it to win it. And I think that Mazzulla quote that I mentioned before, he's also in it. And I think we're just gonna absolutely tear it up again. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna tear it up.
And the thing is, these moves, like other than Russell Westbrook to the Nuggets, I feel like Paul George to the Sixers and the other big one, Thompson to the Mavericks.
Yep.
Like they're really not gonna have a major impact on the team success in terms of like getting them over that hump. Whereas I feel like Russell Westbrook, he's accepted the 6-man role in his career, and he can really augment the Nuggets offense.
Right.
But these players, Paul George and Klay Thompson, like they're heading towards 35, 36, 37. So they're not quite the player they used to be. And if they were, let's say, on the Miami Heat, you could argue that they would get better, but the Sixers aren't really having the best outlook next season.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I didn't even mention in these transactions because they didn't have really transactions this offseason, but the Bucks, which is supposed to be our our conference enemy, our conference rival. Nope. I'm just saying it right now. It's not happening with Doc Rivers, and I'm not scared of them. So
I mean, these players are great in their own sense.
yeah.
And I don't want to like make the Celtics seem like we're this untouchable force, but
But we kind of are, right?
yeah.
we got our.
But in terms of like Paul George to Sixers, like great, you might get within 10 points of beating us, but the impact of having him on the Sixers now is not nearly as much as it needs to be.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So it's pretty clear we're both confident that they're gonna win it again. And again, we're not analysts. We're just saying this team is loaded. It has been loaded. It's stayed the same. You'd think they're gonna get better with this offseason. They're gonna be good. Let's transition here to I think this is probably gonna be our last segment. This is what we call our mailbag segment, and we would like the audience, fans, to bring us questions, and we will answer them on the podcast. Simple as that. So Eric, let you ask me the question that you have for me, since we're the season 2, so we don't have questions on deck, but we have questions for each other on deck. So
yeah. So right after Celtics won their championship, there's actually rumors that, well, not really rumors, they're gonna plan on selling the team.
Mm.
And part of the candidates include, I think, John Henry of the Red Sox group, um, Jeff Bezos.
Yes.
So, what I'd like to ask you, Isaiah,
Mhm.
is who do you think should be the next owner of the Celtics?
Yeah, I don't see. I don't. I guess I didn't answer it as who should be. I guess I just answered it as who I think is going to be the next owner, and I think it's going to be Jeff Bezos. I think I mean, obviously he has the money. Right? He's Amazon, so and I think he probably would like to get into this market, the NBA market, because why not? He's a billionaire, and increasing. So I just see him. I don't think I think I'd rather have. I don't know because John Henry is a proven. Is he owner? Is he owner of the Red Sox? That
I think he's the majority owner of the Red Sox group.
majority owner. Okay, so he's obviously he's has a team, high level organization, and he's owner of that team. But the way Red Sox have been, it's been a little rocky. I mean, you're a Yankees fan, so you've been liking it, right? So you've been wanting it. But yeah, I don't see. I don't know if I want Red Sox attached to the Celtics. Where I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
don't
as
know.
someone who kind of looks on the outside as a Yankees fan, I've heard a lot of fellow Red Sox fans say that John Henry puts together a team that's competitive, but never championship contending. Like they're always kind of mid.
Right. Well, we don't want mid. We don't want mid for
Yeah.
the Celtics for any New
And the
England
thing
team.
is, like, Jeff Bezos has so much money that I feel like for him, like, if he's getting involved with sports, like, he wants to be a champion. Like,
Absolutely.
Amazon is one of the world's biggest companies. Like, he wants to own a championship team. I would hope.
Right.
And if that's the case, like, the Celtics have a great team, and he could definitely be an NBA champion and have his own ring next season.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. Let me get to you with my final question. Who do you think? This is NBA. This is kind of related to what we've been talking about. Who do you think will make it out of the Western Conference Finals to face the Celtics this upcoming NBA season?
So I'd say the team that showed a lot of longevity recently is the Denver Nuggets.
Okay.
And I know they got eliminated, of course, by the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
But I feel like in general, Jokic, he's gonna have another MVP contending season.
Mm-hmm.
And although they got, they're not defending champions, but they very well could bounce back and make it back into that NBA final slot.
Sure.
So that's my prediction.
Okay. Great. Yeah. That is a great pick. I'm going with Oklahoma City Thunder. I think their acquisitions with Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. I mean, they were already, they did lose to the Mavericks, excuse me, last season. And I just think they are, with those additions, they're going to be really formidable. They're a young team too, but they show themselves that, they're going to be great talent. So
Yeah, Shea Gill got, I think, third in the MVP race. So.
Right, exactly. So they got great talent. They're young. They're going to be really good. So, yeah, I think this is going to conclude our first season 2 episode of the Bailey Friends. Again, my name is Isaiah.
My name's Eric.
And we hope to see you next time. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.